previous episode of Solo Sambar Hunter, I talked about a particular stag that really challenged me, and by the end of the year, he was nowhere to be seen. After all the effort I put in and no sign of him, I thought that he must have already been killed. That is, until I went to pick up my trail camera this year, only to find that it had a brief glimpse of the stag that I named Henry on it. Unfortunately, he had started to regress. I thought that would really bother me, but it didn't. I was more happy to see that he was still alive and passing on his amazing genes. A stag that makes it to old age and regresses in antler size still holds the same good genes and is not going to produce malformed stags. Now, something else I was happy to see on my trail camera was that what looked like an exact younger copy of Henry was now entering his territory, and I would definitely say that it was one of his breed. This stag was showing great genetics, and in a few more years' time, he would also be a great animal to chase. One evening, after leaving camp, I decided to crawl under some dogwood to get to an opening where I would start my evening hunt. I had only come 50 metres from my camp when I looked up to see a stag looking straight at me, wondering what I am. I slowly moved around further as the dogwood was high enough to cover my movements. I had to make sure he would not wind me and give me enough time to get my camera out. This is not the first time I've set up camp only to find a deer bedded close by. Woo! I literally walked 50 metres from my camp, and that stag was right there. 50 metres from the camp. I thought he was too far. I thought he was about 65 metres or something, but I checked him just now. It was 47. I could have actually shot him with my bow. Just sitting here on the ground. But he would have needed to turn side, and I wouldn't take a frontal shot from that far. 50 metres from my camp, just down there. Let's see if we can see another one. When the sun comes out in the morning and shadows form throughout the bush, it makes it very difficult to make out deer. The Rut Hunter sunglasses have been made specifically with the right lenses fully polarized to cope with these conditions and allow you to make out animals and movement much easier. They are super clear, super comfortable, and complete with box and cleaner, weighing at just 70 grams. One afternoon, I decided to head out to lock in a position for an evening hunt. After scanning with my binoculars for a good game trail in the area to sit and wait, I was quite surprised to pick up a hind and a small calf being closely followed by a stag. What surprised me even more is that this stag is very young. He was courting and checking her constantly for when she was ready. I have never seen a stag at such a young age want to and be ready to mate with a female. The only reason I can see why the stag is pushing around during the day is probably to keep her away from other stags. Because really, at his small size, he doesn't stand much of a chance if another stag bigger than him shows up, which is certainly more than likely. Sure enough, the next morning, during the night, the stag has come into contact with the scent of the female, and I'm sure it wouldn't have taken much for him to move in and chase the young stag away. As it has always been in the animal kingdom, the strongest and toughest survive, and they are the ones that go on to reproduce in hope of making even stronger animals for the species survival. The mountains can sometimes be relentless, going from a picture-perfect calm day to a wild lightning storm that just appears out of nowhere. And that is exactly what happened to me on this particular day. Seeking shelter, I spent the last 45 minutes lying comfortably inside this open hollow log, waiting for the storm to pass. We're up hunting the subalpine again. So quiet. Fog's just kicking in. 2 degrees. Oh, I'm gonna have to be so quiet. Stick to the game trails. It's just too quiet. I know there's deer up here. They're few and far between, but I reckon we might have a chance. It's usually about 1 metre deep and slow over here, but just nothing, just gold, no snow. I'm gonna keep walking slowly and try. Never give up. Hunting the last few hours of the evening, I managed to find a wallow in the middle of the snow gums. But due to the recent snowmelt, I was hoping to find some fresh tracks around the wallow. But the only recent prints were from a hind and a calf. I always note the game trails leading in and out, and possible ambush spots depending on the wind direction. It's a good idea not to enter the immediate area around a wallow. Human scent spreads very easily, and it would very quickly change the mind of a stag coming into wallow. It is just as easy to view the area from a distance with your binoculars, and only if it is the last day before my hunting trip is over do I ever enter the area to get a closer look. Had a hind just honking me over there, just heading back to the car. I hate hunting in rain, it sucks. Just
just wet. Same thing. You can't hear the deer as well. So I just prefer it to be quiet, me being quiet and just hearing them moving. And the birds don't do anything in the rain at all. So unfortunately, just got honked by one deer on the way back, that's it. 7 o'clock in the morning, you can hear the hounds right across those mountains there. Guys are running the hounds over the back there. Dead quiet morning, you can hear them still running flat out. I don't know how they're going to get down into that massive valley where they are. It's insane. Anyway, I'm going this way. I'm glad they're over there. I heard the deer. The dogs come out of that valley all the way along. I heard the deer running up the road. You can hear it galloping, breathing really hard. And then it's dropped over the other side. You can hear their cars coming up along the track, along the top of the road right now. There's another set of dogs down there, and there's one chasing one and I'm here. Oh well, I might keep going this way for a bit and see if I can find something.
After standing there listening to the dogs work in the valley and discussing the situation to the camera, I only took a few more steps to continue on my hunt when...
Oh man, I'm sitting there talking to you guys on the camera about these guys with the dogs down there. And there's a stag just gets up at the rocks up here. There's a rock up there about 60 metres behind me. Stag looks about 23. He just gets up and just smashes the trees and just walks off slowly up there. Far out there. I probably wouldn't have shot him anyway, but he was right there all the time. All the time. The dogs ran across way over that side. I picked this area because I thought they'd be on here, and yep, there he was right there. Far out. Wish I had my camera out. It's too quick though. He was just up there. There's all these rocks right along there, and he's sitting right on that edge. Now he's gone around the corner. So here's his fresh poo coming up. Oh yuck, it's still slimy. Going up to his bed. There's tracks coming up here. There's some more poo there. Freshly done this morning. And I don't know how they get through this. Like honestly, this is thick as hell. Steep as. Look at that. There's the dingoes down up there. They won't bother the stags. The stags don't care about the dingoes. But look at this. That's crazy. How they get through this, I've got no idea. How the deer can move through all this is just beyond me. Such big animals. And they just push through this like it's nothing. The one thing is, you're going to hear them moving through this sort of stuff for sure. Unreal. A bed like this is what I'd call perfect sambar. You can see it's nice and flat, tucked up in a little spot. He's got full protection from the rocks, from the weather coming from the south, the bad rain, and any storms come from that way, the wind, and he's facing out to the sun on this side. So it's a perfect winter bed. You wouldn't see him here probably after September. It'd probably be a bit too hot, but yeah, one magical bed.
In 2013, I embarked on one of the most enduring and incredible solo hunting expeditions of my life, during which I endeavoured to truly capture the whole hunting experience through good and bad times, and remarkably take one of the most perfect sambar stags this country has ever seen. Join me on this amazing journey, which not only depicts a hunter's life, but also inspires and teaches you all about sambar hunting along the way. This film is truly a must-watch for every keen hunter. After an interesting morning, I decided to head down a bit lower, over and around to another system where I managed to glass up a stag that was falling asleep.
There's a stag down there. He's 140 metres away. Down, he's just sitting under a tree. Looks like another deer behind him too. He's just bedded. It looks like he's trying to go to sleep. Unreal. He's not real big or anything, but it's just so good to watch them in their beds like that. Catch them out in their beds.
Over the years, I've noticed that if a sambar is bedded in an area they feel secure, they will tend to sleep for longer intervals. Mostly this being for up to 3 to 4 minutes at a time, before lifting their head to check for danger. It is a wonderful feeling to be able to watch such an elusive animal that rarely gets seen in its bed, and to try and understand the way they live such a secret life. Generally, sambar will sleep from the morning until the afternoon, when they feel the urge to get up and stretch their legs and have a quick feed for about 10 to 15 minutes, before returning to the same bed or choosing another in the immediate area. They will then remain there until almost dark. Rarely have I ever seen them move longer distances to change beds during the day. Even when the weather turns and the face they are on becomes windy, they still tend to stay put rather than risk being seen and killed. Only in extreme cold remote areas have I ever seen them move over a spur to continue to get the warmth from the sun. I have seen larger stags rock up later to bedding areas that already hold deer, and with no resistance, push out another deer from their bed and take it over for the day.
He's fast asleep. I've been watching him now for a little bit. He just sort of sleeps for about 2 minutes, and then you start going, looking around, then he wakes up just to check everything's okay, and then he goes back to sleep. There's another deer behind, I think it's a female, but he's just sitting there. So good. I love watching deer like this.
Benches and areas just like this are always great places to find deer. A bit of cover and shelter from the wind, the sun in winter, and a nice flat spot to sleep for the day is always going to be an attractive option to any deer in the area.
I might leave him be now. Slowly sneak out without disturbing the area, head back to camp. The wind's coming up towards me, so he can't smell me. Back up around, back to camp.
On the last day of this trip, I decided I wanted to forget all about the deer for a while and climb up as high as I could. I still took a gun just in case, but with such a magical day, it just seemed like the right thing to do. Up here, you get a feeling you just can't get anywhere else. You're surrounded by so much to see, yet it is quiet, with no sound or busyness attached to it. You get a major feeling of satisfaction and long for someone to share with. Because when you get home, you can never quite explain where you were and the feeling of being up there.